political. We're in what you would call a voting cycle, where it's anti-Trump and everyone is swinging towards Democrats based on this. This right now has become the political talk, not just of the United States, but of the world right now. Injustice, no justice. Don't you all know, folks, that this was all planned? Every last bit of it was planned. Now, Cuomo, a Democrat, is going to come off as if he sympathizes for black people. And I'm going to show you how politicians operate, folks. I'm going to show you how politicians operate. Keep in mind, folks, politicians don't really wield power for their own agendas. Politicians go with the special interest who buys them. That's what a politician does. You pay a politician or vote in a politician to do your interest as a citizen. That means it's a give and take. I don't vote for him because I hate the other guy. I don't vote for him because he said something good when something happened to one of my brothers. He said something in support of me.
Right.
Corporations don't work like that. If they pay a politician, that they own that politician. So in a capitalistic society, folks, politicians are not for the people. They are to be bought and controlled. That's what a politician is. We just didn't get the memo yet. So the only thing a politician have to do is sympathize with us while giving those who are destroying us all their policies pass through. Because really, politicians go where the money is. And unfortunately, our people aren't organized as a group like AIPAC.
Right.
AIPAC is one group, the greatest lobby that have actually put in politicians, the Jewish lobby. And everything they say they want, they get because they paid for it. Your politicians. So listen to this here. Yeah, so what they're doing is they're rolling out the carpet to present Biden as a savior. Now, in the midst of all this is going to be a perfect time running up into the election in which they have Obama come on and do a speech holding Biden's hand against the injustices. Let's charge these racist cops. We finally getting justice. See? That's how listen, it's politics, folks. But I'm going to show you why you shouldn't be out there. First of all, the government and the news circulations and the news corporations are going to throw oil on the fire, gasoline on the fire. They know we're already hot. So they get their teams together, their actors and others, and say they go to the witch covens and the pagan covens, and they pay. And guess what? Don't think it's a coincidence that now everyone is wearing masks through COVID, and now the mask and transition into what? Rioters wearing masks. So now no one is going to question people or can't figure out who they are because it's COVID-19, it's coronavirus. So they should have masks on anyway. So you put these actors in masks, and under the black veil, like I've just shown, white people spray painting Starbucks, Black Lives Matter. See? Under the veil with the mask, they're throwing gasoline on the fire. It's your witch covens, it's your Satanists, it's your actors. There's not much work in Hollywood right now. There's a lot of extras out there who need work. So they go to places like the Actors Guild and all that. They have a union with that. For your low budget actors. You also have what you would call crisis actors, where you can actually apply for that online to become a provocateur. They'll take you in a church or a building and give you your script, and you go out there with the spray paint. They give you $200-300, and you're just adding to the fire with a news camera, conveniently aimed on the vandalism. See? So the guy on your screen, you might think most people, especially where we grew up at, North Philadelphia, will believe that this guy right here is for us. Cuomo. Listen to this.
I stand with the protesters. And I think all well-meaning Americans stand with the protesters. It's not an isolated incident. It is a continuum of cases and situations that have been going on for decades and decades and decades. These are just chapters in a book. And the title of the book is Continuing Injustice and Inequality in America. And these are just chapters. The chapter started modern day Rodney King in Los Angeles, 1991. Abner Louima in New York, 1997. Amadou Diallo in New York, 1999. Sean Bell in New York, 2006. Oscar Grant, Oakland, California, 2009. Eric Garner, New York City, 2014. Michael Brown, Missouri, 2014. Laquan McDonald, Chicago, 2014. Freddie Gray, Baltimore, 2015. Antoine Rose, Pittsburgh, 2018. Ahmaud Arbery in Georgia, 2020. Breonna Taylor in Kentucky, 2020. George Floyd in Minneapolis, 2020. That's why the outrage. That's why the frustration and the anger. It is not about one situation. It's about the same situation happening again and again and again and again. And seeing the same thing and not learning the lesson. And then it's that happening in a broader context and a broader circumstances, which is what's going on with the coronavirus, which affects and kills more minorities than anyone else. You look around this country and you look at the people who are dying of the coronavirus, it is disproportionate African American people. And it's just a continuing injustice, and that's the frustration, and that's the protests. Nobody is sanctioning the arson and the burglaries, but the protest.
Okay, now, how many of our people tied in the coronavirus with what happened to George Floyd?
Exactly.
How many of you? The political takedown of our people. You can't see what he just did. Now, he came off, Elder Lawyer, as if he was speaking for our turn. Right?
Right.
He came off as if he was supporting our plight. Ran down all of the, what you would call, racial tension bullet points that went throughout, that was in news for the last decade or so. And then he tied that in with coronavirus and minorities.
Exactly.
I'm going to show you. You're between the crosshairs. You're listening to this guy thinking he's supporting your cause, when really he's setting us up to die exponentially in large numbers. Listen.
And the anger and the fear and the frustration, yes. Yes. And the demand is for justice. And when the prosecutor came out and said, well, there's other evidence But I can't tell you anything more than that. That only incited the frustration. Injustice in the justice system. How repugnant to the concept of America. And over and over and over again. I stand against the arson and the burglary and the criminality. I stand with the protesters. And I think all well-meaning Americans stand with the protesters.
And you notice none of them ever point out the provocateurs that were paid by government to go out and spray paint. Now, is government directly paying these people? Absolutely not. Mm-hmm. But the news circulations, the news, the media, CNN and others are paying groups to do this. Because what? News pays. So you have to keep if you got a hot button topic that everyone is focusing on, you have to create the news. So they go out and hire these people to go out and spray and all that and throw bombs and all that and throw all that. And so that now the government can come in, blame it on the black people, get the military ready for what? Civilian occupation. This is where we are. Listen to what I'm telling you.
Enough is enough. How many times do you have to see the same lesson replayed before you do something? This country is better than this. It has been better than this.
How many times have you heard that? I heard that during the Rodney King riots. We have to be better than this. And you know what? They know that this is good enough for us. Mm-hmm. We just got to be told that they understand, right, without them actually giving us or showing us anything to the contrary.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
How long are we going to go for this?
And it shouldn't take this long to end basic discrimination and basic injustice.
Okay. That's one thing. Keep your eyes on your screens, brothers and sisters. Because this is the same guy. This is the same guy now, Elder Lawyer. Mm-hmm. Right?
And I'm sorry, before you go on, Deacon Bukar just sent me something very key to what you were just mentioning.
Go on.
In relation to the hiring. A lot of people still think that these things are conspiracy theories. These things don't exist. Deacon Bukar just sent me a link. It says LasVegasCraigslist.org. Crisis actors for event, Las Vegas area, Memorial Day weekend, 1 to 2 days. Let us know if you have experience as a crisis actor. This is from May 29th, 2020.
Let me look at this. May 29th, 2020. If you all can see that. An application for crisis actors. So when certain events happened, when they was on the Capitol steps of certain places saying that we need these doors open, we need the churches open, we need this. These be actors, folks. Mm-hmm. Crisis actors. Look it up. Look it up. And if you don't believe that they can do this, how do you think movies get all these people to play in these grand scenes with hundreds of people? Look how many people they had on one fighting scene, Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. Or that End of the World movie, that Pandemic V movie that Brad Pitt was in, and you had seen hundreds of people running. They can get people, folks. Now that Hollywood isn't paying right now under this COVID thing, these actors need work. So if we didn't go out there, let me tell you, if we weren't so easily triggered, this thing couldn't happen because they need us to actually go out there to get things started so they can operate in the midst of the chaos, mm-hmm, to bring their order.